Oh, he says there it is, I think. What? Oh, yeah, it's up. Okay, cool. Perfect. Nice.
Oh, hey! I didn't see you there. Are you here for Overflow Live? Because I am, and we're going to have a great night tonight. Am I right, Zach?
What's up, everyone? Hey, apparently you could hear us. I swear, Michael promised that as long as that video was playing, you guys wouldn't be able to hear us. But Bryce goes, hey, we can hear you. So apparently, that's how Bryce sounds, by the way. Apparently you guys can hear us. So that's awesome. Michael, we weren't talking anything bad. We were just saying that you promised us that you couldn't hear us. But that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
As you said, we're dorks. What's up, everyone? Welcome to Overflow Live. This is a little different because Michael is here with us tonight, but he's not able to do much. Same with Hazel. Hazel is also here. But for real, thank you, Michael, for helping us with all the technical troubles that we ran into, unforeseen. Again, it's a weird night, just the two of us. But we've got a lot of fun set up for you tonight. It's a little different. We don't have the intro video for you. We don't have all the fancy graphics, but we are going to run with this in a completely rustic style. One of the first things I want to do is kind of a fun detail. Josiah, actually, have any of you guys seen Star Wars? Put your answers in the comments whether you've seen Star Wars, what your favorite Star Wars movie is, and I'll check them out in just a minute. But I hope that you guys have seen Star Wars. I myself am like the biggest Star Wars fan, and I mean, I was showing Josiah tonight some videos of my favorite lightsaber battles in Star Wars. And Josiah, how many Star Wars movies have you seen?
That's not important. More importantly, only like one, like half of one.
You saw Solo.
Oh yeah, Solo, and then like half of one. Or
Yeah.
like a segment of one.
Like half of The Force Awakens or something, right?
Yeah.
Cool. So, he's a huge Star Wars fan.
Huge.
And, and so, what we're going to do to start off the night is I figured, what better way to make the Star Wars fans happy than have someone who's not a Star Wars fan and hasn't really seen Star Wars to rank all 11 Star Wars movies for you guys. So what we've got here is a whiteboard, which hopefully stands. Cool. And we also have all of the Star Wars movies, all 11 of them here. And Josiah is going to rank them. Now keep in mind, Josiah has not seen, and he's seen like 1.5 of these movies. So he's going to rank them from rank them from worst to best. Okay? I want you to rank them from worst to best. Yeah, Josiah, just take it away.
Alright, please don't hate me if you're a really big Star Wars fan, because yeah.
No need to be nervous. It's just the biggest fan base on Earth.
Rogue One. I mean, you gotta have a center point. Like, you gotta start somewhere, so. Should I do them up and down?
It doesn't matter. It's not a very big screen, so just go with whatever. Go with whatever you want.
Star Wars: The Last Jedi. It looks pretty cool, so I'm gonna put that one high. Can you
Alright.
be my taper?
Yeah, sure. I'll be your taper. All right. So you're putting Star Wars: The Last Jedi very high.
Yeah, maybe second.
Second. Okay. Cool. All right. So everyone, he's putting Star Wars: The Last Jedi as the second best Star Wars movie.
It is. Let us know in the comments if that's a good choice. This one is Attack of the Clones, Episode 2. I don't know. The main character looks like Ponyboy. So I'm gonna have to go fourth on that one.
Fourth. All right, a solid fourth. So Attack of the Clones gets fourth place, y'all.
This one is just Star Wars?
Yeah. Show the audience. Maybe they'll know. All right. Where do you think that one lies? What do you think happens in this movie?
By the looks of it, it looks like Princess Leia's gonna pull out a Luger and shoot Darth Vader, so.
Yeah.
And I see some Thai food fighters in the background, so.
Where do you think this goes?
I might put that one aside for now.
You're gonna put Star Wars aside.
Yeah, because that one might come first. I don't know yet.
Huh.
This one has a kangaroo on it. The Empire Strikes Back.
A kangaroo.
Wait, actually, isn't that...
This man just said that's a kangaroo.
Kangaroos are pretty dope, so third place.
Third place. Okay. You know, third place for Empire Strikes Back and the snow kangaroos.
Return of the Jedi. Where did the Jedi go?
It's cool. I'll put your second place back up on the board.
I don't know the name of that thing, but I know that there's like a bunch of them. It looks like a baby Chewbacca, so maybe fifth.
All right. What he's pointing to, by the way, is a little wicket right there. He's pointing at wicket. So you said fifth place?
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Looks like a baby Chewie, so you can never go wrong.
Baby Chewie.
Okay. I think we found our number one. Zach earlier was telling me about this one, and it has Liam Neeson in it, so I'm just going to go number one.
Alright, everyone. Keep in mind, Josiah just put Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, as the best Star Wars movie. Keep that in mind, y'all.
This one is Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
It has... I'm gonna... Oh, it has Yoda! Can I switch this one with the second place?
That's a good choice. Yeah. I take this weird, but don't worry, we'll fix it. And where do you think the original second place should go? Remember, there are 11 total.
There's a... I thought there was like 7. Next to that one.
Oh boy, alright. Well, good stuff. Well, you filled up the top 7, which means you have 4 left to go.
Rise of the Skywalker? Is this one the most recent one?
This is the most recent and apparently the conclusion of the Star Wars movies.
This is what it looks like?
Yep, Rise of Skywalker.
I'm just gonna put this one down here.
Down here? At the very bottom, hey!
I've only heard bad things about it.
So is that like as a last place? Or?
Yeah.
Alright.
Last place.
Last place. If
Oh.
we weren't displaying it, it would be off screen. Alright.
The Force Awakens.
Yeah, it does.
It was asleep.
You fell asleep during this one?
No, I think this...
Oh, the Force was asleep.
Yeah, the Force was... I'm actually probably gonna have to...
Is it a tie?
Yeah, it's a
Oh,
tie.
it's a tie.
Because
Alright.
that's one of the titles that actually sounds familiar.
Got you. So he's tying Phantom Menace and The Force Awakens.
This is like the only one that I've ever seen solo. So
You can tie more if you need to tie.
I'm gonna tie this one second place.
Alright, you're tying for second place. We'll do that and cover up Empire Strikes Back. Oh man. Alright. And your last one is Star Wars, which also is known as A New Hope.
Oh, A New Hope.
Yeah, but it was the first Star Wars movie released, and at the time it was only known as Star Wars.
But when you add New Hope, it kind of adds to the fantasy football points. So I'm just gonna tie it with three-way tie with second place.
Three-way tie with second place. All right. Are your decisions final?
Yes.
All right. While you check the comments for me and see what people are responding.
Please don't hate me, guys.
Let me just run through all of Josiah's picks. In last place, we have Rise of Skywalker, which I would, I think that's a safe bet. Like, I don't think it's the worst Star Wars movie, but I definitely don't think it's anywhere near the top tier, so I'll give him kudos for that. Next, he put Last Jedi, which I also did not really like, so that's a great spot. Rogue One, I'd say for a novice fan, that's a pretty good spot to put it. Return of the Jedi is really low, surprisingly, as one of the original movies, pretty low. Attack of the Clones, pretty grandiose of him to put it in third place, but you know, he hasn't seen it, so what does he know? And then Oh wait, no, that's 4th place. In 3rd place, I couldn't see it because it hid it under all this, is Empire Strikes Back. Here's the thing. Empire Strikes Back is my favorite Star Wars movie. It's many Star Wars fans' favorite movie. 3rd place, I guess, is an appropriate spot for it. Oops. Just a second, guys. Another screen just went off. We'll get it back for you. Oopsie daisy.
Oh, the screen's still on for him.
Yep, it's off for us though, so we need to make sure that we can see you.
I got a comment from Brett, and I'm sorry. That's all I gotta say.
What did Brett say?
He said, "How dare you
For
put
Brett.
Force Awakens?"
Oh, it was Brett. Got you.
Tied with Phantom Menace.
So where was I? I was at Empire Strikes Back. So I guess the 3rd place is decent for that. But then, holy moly, a little indecisive, but I guess that's okay considering the situation I just put him in. We have a 3-way tie for 2nd place, including Star Wars, Solo, and Episode 3. Here's the thing. I think that's pretty good, actually. That's a pretty decent 2nd place showing. Now here's where I believe all of you are going to get mad. His favorite 2 movies, well, not favorite, he hasn't seen either of these. Force Awakens, I could kind of see that being someone's favorite Star Wars movie, because it's the beginning of the new Disney series. But he put Episode 1, Phantom Menace, he put this in 1st place! What are you doing? This is the worst Star Wars movie of all of them! I mean, like, Rise of Skywalker might be worse, and you can make an argument that Episode 2 is the worst, but you put Episode 1 at the very top. I'm losing my mind. This isn't a bit. He actually put it at the top.
I'm sorry, Zach.
Let me cool myself. Can you take this off screen for me, Josiah? I don't want to see this abomination anymore. Oh. Wow, that was an experience. So what we're gonna do now to continue the Star Wars trend is more Star Wars. Take this, why don't you? So what we're doing, ladies and gentlemen, is a fun little screenplay for you. Now, whether you've seen Star Wars or not, you're probably familiar of the famous Luke, I'm your father scene. That's actually not how it goes. It's just, no, I am your father, but whatever. You know that scene. It's a very famous cinematic moment. And we are going to play it out for you as it goes. I will be playing the role of the narrator, reading the script, as well as Luke. I will be playing Luke. And Josiah's role is Vader. He will be playing Darth Vader. So let's just take it away. Interior gantry outside control room, reactor shaft. Luke moves along the railing and up to the control room, and Vader lunges at him. And Luke immediately raises his sword to meet Vader's. Sparks fly as they duel. Vader gradually forces Luke backwards towards the gantry.
You are beaten. It is unless to resist. Don't let yourself be destroyed. As Obi-Wan did.
Luke answers by rolling sideways and thrusting his sword at Vader so viciously that he nicks Vader on the shoulder. The black armor sparks and smokes as Vader seems to be hurt but immediately recovers. Luke backs off from the narrow end of the gantry as Vader comes at him, slashing at the young Jedi with his sword. Luke makes a quick move around the instrument complex attached to the end of the gantry. Vader's sword comes slashing down, cutting the complex loose. It begins to fall, and then is caught by the rising wind and blown upwards. Luke glances at the instrument, at that instant, Vader's sword comes down across Luke's right forearm, cutting off his hand and sending his sword flying. In great pain, Luke squeezes his forearm under his left armpit and moves back. This is so much dialogue. Not even dialogue, just screenplay. The wind subsides, Luke holds on, there's nowhere else to go.
There is no escape. Don't make me destroy you. You do not yet realize your importance. You have only begun to discover your power. Join me and I will complete your training. With our combined strength, we can end this destructive conflict and bring order to the galaxy.
I'll never join you!
If only knew the power of the dark side, Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father.
He told me enough. He told me you killed him.
No. I'm your father. It says right here on the birth certificate.
Shocked, Luke looks at Vader in utter disbelief. No! That's not true! That's impossible!
Search your feelings. You know it to be true.
No! 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 You taking off your helmet?
Luke, you can destroy the Emperor. He has foreseen this. It is your destiny. Join me, and together we can rule the galaxy as father and son. Come with me. It's the only way.
Vader puts away his sword and holds out his hand to Luke. A calm comes over Luke and he makes a decision. In the next instant, he steps off the gantry platform into space. No. The end. End scene. Wow, look at that, guys. Why was Vader he had an inhaler? Like for asthma? That's actually really an interesting twist on Darth Vader that I didn't realize I needed.
Thank you, Bryce. Thank you.
What did he say?
Zach was the imposter.
Zach was the imposter. Just floating away in space. Brilliant. Alright, guys. We've come to that time of the night. It's time for the updated football scores. This is a big one, everyone. And I'm very happy to say I'm no longer a loser. To start off the night, actually, let me bring this closer so you guys can see it. There we go. Oh, that's nice. It's a little messy, but this is how we're doing it. So, first off, the Blubbery Seals versus Country Road Take Mahomes. I won my first game. Woo! I'm so happy. Here's the thing, though. I had 5 players who scored over 20 points, but Mariah had Odell Beckham Jr., who, on his own, scored 38.4 points. That's nuts. Wow. But I still came out on top because Mariah had an injured player. I came out 143 to 130. A pretty close game. Good job, Mariah. You were a worthy foe. I'm just happy to win one for once, so good job. Next, we've got the Kool-Aid Jammies, Brett and Josiah, versus our very own Michael Gilmore.
Sorry, Michael.
Michael, this was a close game. This was a really close game. Like, surprisingly close, within 4 points. Kool-Aid Jammies won 132 to 128, which means that the Kool-Aid Jammies are still undefeated, making them the only undefeated team in our league. That's pretty impressive. Michael, however, did have the best player of any of the players that were fighting it out that night, with Aaron Rodgers having 29 whopping points. He's been a really impressive quarterback this year. He probably could have pulled it off if he had a little bit more time. Next, we've got Hannah's team versus Goff the Hook. Hannah, once again, comes out swinging against Bryce. Bryce is now back at a 2-2 record, and Hannah is 3-1, and she won 156 to 127. Here's the thing. Bryce had tons of players who scored over 20 points, but Hannah had not 1, not 3, but 2 players who had 40 points or more, with Joe Mixon having 45 points and George Kittle having 43. That alone put her in the 80s range, and then in addition, with like 3 other players with more than 20 points, bumped her all the way up to 156. Just absolutely crushing. Good job, Hannah. Keep it up. Next, we have Team Name versus Rangers. Unfortunately, Angel is completely defeated. I'm really sorry, man. You got to get rid of those injured players. One of Angel's best players, Nick Chubb, got hurt, which Nick Chubb was ranked one of the best players in the entire league, but got hurt, so he didn't really score that much. Evan had Dalvin Cook, though, who's one of my favorite players on the Minnesota Vikings, my home team, and he got 31 points, which means Evan's team name won 126 to 91. That was a good battle. And finally, we've got Mums on the Run versus Icy. Juliana versus Mariska. Mariska went down. She's back at a 2-2 level, but she did have Dak Prescott, her quarterback, score 40 points. Another 40-point scoring player. That's pretty intense. So good job to Mariska for having high scoring players, but good job to Mums on the Runs for getting back to that equal game scoring. That's really good. So once again, the ranks are in, and Kool-Aid Jammies are dominating the league right now, still undefeated. Very good. Very, very good.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Auto draft.
Auto draft. Alrighty. Well, we're going to get into this now. Just going to make sure that this screen doesn't go dark. There we go. So what we're going to do before we jump into the lesson is one more game. We're going to play a little bit of Pictionary. Pictionary.
I saw in the comments earlier, Michael said we could use the wall.
Use the wall? Oh, the wall behind us. You know what? We might use that eventually, but right now it's completely cluttered with names. So we might do that next week, though. That might be a really good addition. Let's see. I'm going to have to put this here. All right. So you guys know how Pictionary works. There's a card. It has a thing on it that you guys have to read. Can someone throw out a number in the comments between 1 and 5? And that's the way that we'll decide our first couple cards here. But I'll be drawing.
There's also requests.
Ooh, requests. Requests for things to draw?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. All right. Cool. Did you see any of the requests?
No. I only saw one, and it was the one that I've seen for weeks now.
Oh, okay. Got you. Cool. All right. So I've got the first one here. This request comes from Leslie. And so I will be drawing the thing that Leslie posted in the comments, one of the things. The second thing that Leslie posted in the comments is what I'm going to draw. And then Josiah, sweet Josiah, is going to have to figure out what I'm drawing. And it just dawned on me that we need a timer. So, we've got a timer. For 30 seconds. Is it 30 seconds or a minute? We're gonna we'll do a minute. Okay, a minute for this, and 1 minute, and I'm drawing Leslie's second suggestion. Keep throwing your suggestions into the comments. All right, and starting. Actually, 1 minute might be too long. Oh no.
Butterfly?
This is not good because I just remembered that I'm drawing a cartoon character of mine.
Yoshi? Daffy Duck?
This isn't good. I'm sorry, Leslie.
VeggieTales? Turbo? A slug? A nematode? Oregano!
Yeah, I just want to show this to the audience so you guys can see.
Mr. Krabs.
I did such a bad job. There's still, how much time is left? 7 seconds. I can't do anything more.
What is that?
It's a frog. It's not a good frog.
It was a good attempt.
Backstory on why I started drawing this. I have a comic character named Stumpy the Legless Frog, and he looks like this, but he doesn't have legs. And so...
Are you not used to drawing legs?
I'm not used to drawing actual frogs, and so I was drawing from my middle school horror memory. That's great. All right, you check the comments, see, pick out whatever your first favorite one is, and then we'll go from there. If there's not any in the comments, you can pick a number between 1 and 5. And we'll have suggestions for you based off those numbers.
Okay, Michael just posted one.
All right.
This one comes from Michael.
Here you go. All right. So this one comes from Michael, and we got 1 minute. You ready? Starting now. Okay. Is that all? Is it a label? Did I just win?
Yeah.
Label?
I had to get it done.
We've gotten label as a suggestion so much. I never thought anyone would actually do it. Well, brilliant job. Good suggestion. All right. Let me figure out what we got here. Okay. Okay. This one comes from Leslie once again. And we've got 1 minute on the clock. Feel free to press start whenever you're ready, Josiah.
3, 2, 1.
All right.
Potato.
This is bad.
A snail. A dog? A giraffe.
This literally looks like...
Bambi?
What is Bambi?
A calf? Would it be a calf?
Is Bambi a calf?
Oh dear. I saw the little pencil legs. So
I don't know how to draw a deer. That's a great suggestion. You're just... Was Pictionary a bad idea tonight? Good suggestion, Leslie. Well done. All right.
Oh yeah, antlers.
Oh, dang it! Why didn't I do antlers? Because I'm a dummy, that's why. You got another suggestion?
First comment.
First comment.
Whatever comment I see first.
Got you. Whatever the first comment that Josiah sees is what he's going to draw.
Leslie said, "Good drawing, Zach."
Oh, thanks, Leslie. I appreciate it.
Wait,
You got it? You got it? One? You got one? You got one?
I'll do it.
All right. That sounded skeptical, but we got it. All right. And I realized 1 minute is actually perfect timing for these. All right. 1 minute starting in 3, 2, 1, go. All right.
Oh.
It's working. You just got to use the flat end. We'll start over.
Here, let me use green actually.
All right. Ooh. Shifting it up a little bit.
Okay.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go. Person. Gingerbread. Rake. Alien spacecraft. What is this? Octopus? Squidward? Wait, frog. Is this a frog? Did I win?
Yeah.
Yay! This is another frog one. That's a much better frog. You can already tell that it's more of a frog than what I drew. It's got these things.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you for that recommendation.
Brilliant. You just wanted to see an actual frog and not Stumpy the legless frog. Awesome.
Thank you.
Well, I've got one more suggestion that is my way of segueing into the lesson. So let's see if you can figure out what I'm drawing here, Josiah. All right. You ready? Here we go.
Popsicle. Turtle shells. Gravestones? Tombstones? I don't know. I'm seeing Roman numerals 1 through 5, 6 through 10.
If anyone knows what I'm drawing, throw it into the chat.
I have an idea what it is. I'll wait. I'll give the audience 20 seconds.
All right.
And then I'll guess when the time's up.
I'm just going to keep drawing this guy's beautiful hair. If you guys can guess what I'm drawing, throw it in.
Rebecca said you can't use the letters.
They're Roman numerals, not letters. I'm Canadian. You Americans play it differently than I do. All right. Can you figure out what I was drawing?
I think I'm going to go with Michael and say 10 Commandments. Because I saw Michael's. That looks. Oh, is that God?
It's Moses.
Oh.
What? That doesn't look like Moses?
I just.
Awesome. Well, yeah, that's my segue. Tonight we're talking about the 10 Commandments. So thanks for playing along with us, guys. Appreciate it. Appreciate all the suggestions. That's awesome. All right. Well,
We all know Zach doesn't care about rules.
man, I've been playing so much Among Us. I've been finding all the ways to, not to cheat, but like to get around the system of everyone figuring out that it's me, which is awesome. It's the best way to play. All right. Thank you, Michael, for sitting here. All right. Well, guys, welcome to Overflow Live. I'm so happy that you guys have joined us tonight. I miss you all, even though we've only been away for what, like a couple days. Like, I mean, I just love getting to hang out with you guys and seeing you guys on Sunday and knowing that you're here on Wednesday. It's just so cool. So tonight we're going to be talking about the 10 Commandments, but we're not going to be talking about the 10 Commandments in the way that you would necessarily think by going through all the 10 Commandments. I'm actually going to be telling you about 10 things that you should know about the 10 Commandments. And to start that off, I just want to give you, it's basically going to be like 10 fun facts about the 10 Commandments, but they're going to be ways that we can utilize it in our everyday life. First, obviously, I should go through the 10 Commandments and tell you, what all of them are. First, God spoke these words to Moses in Exodus 20, 1 through 2. I am the Lord your God who led your people out of Egypt, out of the land of slavery. And then Moses received the 10 Commandments from God at the top of Mount Sinai. And these were the basic instructions of what God's people, the Israelites, were to obey and follow the rules of God by. And they are these. I am the Lord thy God, no other gods before me, no graven images or likenesses. Not take the Lord's name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day. Honor thy mother and father. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not commit adultery. And sorry, I know that I should know these other ones, but they are not working for me. Just a second. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, and thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's gods. So those are the 10 Commandments. And so now I'm just going to tell you some fun facts about the 10 Commandments, but they're going to be applicable to our everyday life. First fun fact about the 10 Commandments. Did you know that Moses never actually calls them the 10 Commandments? Did you know that? No? So, like I said, in Exodus 21 through 2, he introduces one of the most famous sections of the Bible, God does, the most important pieces of religious literature in the whole world, the 10 Commandments. And oddly enough, they are never actually called the 10 Commandments in the Bible. The Hebrew expression, which occurs 3 times in the Old Testament, in Exodus 38, in Deuteronomy 4, and Deuteronomy 10, literally means the 10 words. And this is why Exodus 20 is often referred to as the Decalogue, or deca being the Greek word 10, and logos meaning word. And these 10 words that God gave the Israelites on Mount Sinai are the 10 Commandments. And the 10 rules that I would argue God wants us all to follow. Second is that they show us who God is. And that's a really cool thing. There is a law. The law is the expression of the lawgiver's heart and character. The law that God gives Moses is an expression of God's heart and God's character. We must think about that before we say, I don't really care about laws, or I don't really care about rules. Before we bristle at the thought of do's and don'ts, the commandments not only show us what God wants, they show us what God is like. And they say something about his honor, his worth, his majesty. They tell us about what matters to God. We can't disdain the law without disrespecting God. We can't disobey the laws of the 10 Commandments without disrespecting God. As the third part, the third important thing that we should know is that they set us apart from the world, us as believers. As Christians, we are in a kingdom of priests, or we are a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. That's what it says in 1 Peter 2:9. It says, we are a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. We must be prepared to stand alone, because we are, as many Christians as there are in the world, we're isolated in a sense of our faith, of what we, of that this is a faith that's unique to Christians. We must be prepared to stand alone, to look different, and to have rules that the world doesn't understand, right? The world loves adultery. The world loves immorality. And as Christians, we're not supposed to confide by those rules. We're supposed to obey the law that adultery is wrong and we shouldn't lust. We shouldn't steal. Obviously, stealing is illegal pretty much everywhere, but that's a rule that God gave us first. Of course, we aren't always the holy people that we should be. That's a big part of it. But that's why God has called us to be holy. That's who we are. We are God's people, set apart to live according to God's ways. The fourth part is that the Ten Commandments don't strip us of our freedom. They actually provide us freedom. It's easy to think that the rules that God puts on us in the Ten Commandments are like strict. Like, oh, this is too overbearing. We often think of the Ten Commandments as constraining us, as if God's ways are going to keep us in servitude, and from realizing our dreams and reaching our potential. But we forget that God means to give us abundant life. They talk about that in John 10, that God wants us as believers to have abundant life in Him. And true freedom, it says in John 8. His laws, John says, are not burdensome. They're not burdens. God isn't trying to crush us with red tape and regulations. The Ten Commandments are not prison bars, they're traffic laws. Like they're basic instructions that we all should follow in order for our lives to maintain order and to maintain safety and security. Maybe there are some anarchists out there who think the world would be a better place without traffic laws. For as long as I've been in California, you guys are crazy drivers. It's insane. Minnesotans just follow the rule and are just nice and easy, and there's never any chaos on the road. And I feel like an outsider because there's no rules in California. People are I'm getting ahead of myself. A few of us drive as if there are no rules, but even if we get impatient when we're at a red light, we try to zoom through the yellow and turn left on a very stale pink. Overall, aren't you glad that there is some semblance of law and order? Because people stop and go, and people slow down when they are driving by schools, and they stop for school buses. That's important. They stop. You wouldn't be able to drive your car to the grocery store without laws. When you drive on a switchback on a mountain pass, do you get angry at the guardrails that are trying to stop you from plunging off the side? Oh, I wish these guardrails weren't here. No, you want them there because it keeps you safe. Someone put them there at a great expense for our good, that we may travel about freely and safely. The Ten Commandments aren't instructions on how to get out of Egypt. They're rules for free people to stay free. The fifth thing is that the Ten Commandments weren't given to us so that we could earn our salvation. Some people view Christianity like this. God has rules, and if I follow the rules, God will love me. And God will save me. But that's not what happened in the story of Exodus. The Israelites were oppressed. And God said, I hear your cry, and I will save you, because I love you. And when you are saved, free, and forgiven, I'm going to give you a new way to live. Salvation isn't the reward for obedience. Salvation is the reason for obedience. Jesus does not say, if you obey my commandments, I will love you. Instead, he first washes the feet of the disciples. And then he says, if you love me, you will keep my commandments. All of our doing is only because of what he has done for us. The sixth important thing is that the Ten Commandments are more trustworthy than institutions or cultural code. That's kind of a big bit, so let me explain this a little bit. We live in an age that's very paradoxical, where people say right and wrong is what you decide for yourself. And yet those same people will rebuke others for violating any number of commands. As a culture, we might be free and liberal when it comes to things like immorality and adultery, but we can be absolutely fundamentalist. Oop, screen's about to go off. Sorry, guys. There we go. We can be absolutely fundamentalist when it comes to moral claims about immorality. That was kind of a big chunk, so let me explain this a little bit. Swear words. Old swear words probably don't scandalize us as much anymore. But now there are different words that are offensive, and different words that are slurs and insults that will quickly put someone out of polite company. It'll quickly make people upset, rightfully so. But that's just to show that we are a society with a moral code. We interpret things as we interpret them. The Bible, though, says that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. They say that in Proverbs. The way to find moral instruction is not by listening to your gut, it's by listening to God. If we want to know right from wrong, if we want to know how to live the good life, we have to know how to live in a way that blesses our friends and blesses our neighbors and lifts people up. And we do wise things in God's way, which means paying careful attention to these commandments. Seventh, the church's most important instructions have been based on the Ten Commandments. The church has historically put the Ten Commandments at the center of its teaching, of its ministry, especially for kids and new believers. You've probably heard about the Ten Commandments several times in church if you're like me, or if you're like many number of people who are new to the church. For centuries, the Catholic Church, the Catholic instruction was based on three things: the Apostles' Creed, the Lord's Prayer, and the Ten Commandments. In other words, when people asked, how do we do discipleship? How do we teach our kids about the Bible? What do new Christians need to know about Christianity? And their answers always included an emphasis on the Ten Commandments. Eighth, they are critical to understanding the rest of the Old Testament. And it's true that the Bible doesn't say to print out the Old Testament and kind of like post it as like boldface, like these are the main rules. They are, but the Bible doesn't hold them up in the highest position that the church has. We shouldn't undersell their special stature in the old church, because they came from God as he spoke to the people face to face. In Deuteronomy 5, he came to them from Mount Sinai in fire and cloud and thick darkness and a loud voice. And Exodus 20 is the first time, the literal and spiritual high point in the life of Israel, where it's no wonder that the tablets of the law, along with all these other blessings that God gives the Israelites in the desert, like manna and Aaron's staff, they're all placed inside of this box called the Ark of the Covenant, which if you've seen Indiana Jones, you know is a really big thing, because it holds the spiritual and biblical and godly significance of the faith of the Hebrew people. There are so many laws in the Old Testament, not just the Ten Commandments. There are literally books written about all the laws of the Old Testament. But these first 10 are foundational for the rest. They're kind of the starting point. The Ten Commandments are like the Constitution of the United States. Like, it's just a framework. And then we build everything around it. The Ten Commandments follows basically all of the laws that Israel ends up following. 9, second to last. They're central to the ethics of the New Testament, or they're central to the rules of the Old Testament. Think of Mark 10. this is where the story of the rich young ruler takes place, where a man comes to Jesus and says, "What must I do to inherit eternal life?" And Jesus says, "You know the commandments, right?" Then he lists the second table of the law, the commandments that relate to our neighbors, like do not murder, do not commit adultery, do not steal, do not bear false witness, do not defraud, honor your mother and father. Jesus isn't laying out a path for earning eternal salvation, right? He's not saying, do these things and you'll receive salvation. We know from the rest of the story that Jesus is setting up this young man for a fall, because the one command he obviously hasn't obeyed is the one command that Jesus skips: do not covet. And it's noteworthy that when Jesus has to give a convenient summary of all of our neighbors, of all of our duties that we have to do to our neighbors, like all the ways that we interact with people, Jesus goes straight to the 10 Commandments. And the last thing that I want to point out that's important about the 10 Commandments is that they're still relevant for Christians today. And this is what I want you guys to take away from tonight, is this last bit. The 10 Commandments are relevant. Even though they're thousands and thousands of years old, they are still so relevant to us today. Because can we keep the commandments fully or perfectly? No way. There is no way that we can obey every single bit of the of the 10 Commandments all the way through our lives. There's just no way. But do they serve us? Do they serve to show us our sin and lead us to the cross? I'd say they absolutely do. Because they're a framework for when we're going off the path. But the commandments also show us the way to live. They show us the way to love our neighbor. They show us the way to love God with all of our heart and all of our soul. We still need the 10 Commandments. We still need the 10 words handed down from Sinai. Have they changed in some respects because of the coming of Christ, because of what Jesus did on the cross? For sure. They've been transformed, but they haven't been trashed. We can no longer keep the 10 Commandments rightly unless we keep them with Christ. Because through Christ, and with a view of the all-surpassing greatness of Jesus, we understand that all creations are new in Christ. We understand that everyone who believes in Christ is born again. And that the law isn't just our duty as believers, it's our delight. If we want to love Christ as he deserves and as he desires, the first step is that we have to keep his commandments. And that pretty much wraps that up. I know that was a lot, and I know that was a lot of big words. I kind of got sidetracked, as I normally do. But this is a passionate thing. And so I want to highlight that again. The most important thing that you need to take away from this is that the 10 Commandments are so important, even when they're so old. Because following them really helps us follow Christ better. So yeah, thanks for joining us again tonight, guys. I know that it's a little different of a setting with Michael not being here, but I'm glad that you tuned in and gave us some support. And thank you, Michael, for also watching and helping us along through all the technical difficulties. Thank you, Josiah, and what's this guy's name again?
Michael Jr.
Michael Jr., yeah. Awesome. There was a challenge that someone gave us. I believe it was Evan. He said, how many books can you stack on your heads without falling off? So what we're going to do to close out this night, if you don't mind putting this away and I'll go grab the books, is we've got tons of books here. And we're just going to stack them on top of our heads until they fall over. Alright, let's see how long you last, Josiah. I feel like Josiah's afro will be a nice stabilizer, so we're going to try this on Josiah's head. Okay?
I gotta stabilize the nest.
Stabilize the nest.
Okay.
Alright, we're going to go until they fall. 1. Oh, that's a C.S. Lewis book. That's a good book. 2. That's another C.S. Lewis book. 3. Ooh, bottom.
I thought the reflection would help me out, but it's kind of making it hard.
Yeah, you should just look ahead, buddy.
I'm leaning in the wrong directions.
4. 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll count those as books. 9. Oh boy, I feel it tipping. 10. We got 10 books. Ooh. 11. Stay where you are. I'm gonna get some more books.
Oh no.
Oh shoot! All right, we're gonna call it there.
How many?
11 books.
Woo! Double digits. That's what I was shooting for.
Good stuff. All right, well, 11 books. There you go, Evan. I hope you enjoyed. We might try that again next week. Maybe we can get a flatter afro, but we'll see. Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us tonight, guys. We will see you next week, and we'll see you on Sunday in person for Overflow. And until then, guys, pew, pew, peace.
Adios.